Hello people of YouTube, Pixie here, and today on my channel we are going to be talking about things that you should know before you go to community college. And I went to community college for 3.5 years. Yes, you heard that correctly, 3.5 years before I transferred to UC Berkeley. So I have definitely compiled a long list of tips that I think will be helpful for you. Personally, I think community college was great. It helped me so much as a person, as a student. And I really think if you use your time there wisely, it will definitely help you in the long run. And in the short run, really. It really just helps all around, and it's a great option for a lot of people. So anywho, let's get started with tip 1. So tip 1 is that don't think of it as like the 13th grade, or like don't put yourself down for going to a community college, and don't treat it that way. I know when I went to community college, a lot of the time, especially in like the first couple semesters, I really didn't take it that seriously because I felt bad about myself. It's real college, it's not a joke. It's real college. I don't care what people say to you or what preconceived notions you might have had beforehand. Community college is real college, and yeah, that's all I can pretty much say is don't treat it like a joke, because it's not. So tip 2 on that same note is that because it's not a joke, make sure you don't pile on like heavy duty classes that you know you may struggle with. Like don't take, if you're, trying to start off your first semester and you've never taken a college course before at community college before, don't take a bunch of classes that you would consider hard like right in the first semester, or don't really ever, if you can help it, try not to pile on like a lot of difficult classes in one semester. Like I would try to spread them out as evenly as I possibly could, and when it gets down to the point where you only have to take hard classes, then sometimes you do have to do that. But when you're first starting out, honestly, don't do that. Don't stress yourself out. Don't mess up your GPA right when you start there if you can help it. So yeah. Okay, so tip 3 is to research as much as you possibly can about your community college. You need to know the ins and the outs. You need to know what placement tests that you might have to take. Personally, when I went to community college, I had to take a math placement test and an English placement test, and I've actually taken college classes, community college classes at a few different community colleges, I think like 3 or 4 maybe. And each one I always had to take a math and an English placement test. So generally there is some kind of placement test. Whatever your school you go to, make sure you look it up online, make sure you figure out when the application deadline is. For me, I had to apply. You have to apply to the community college, and then you have to take the placement test, and there's a whole process. It's not like you can just walk in the door and just sign up. Like you have to fill out their paperwork, you gotta follow the protocol, and it's just really good to know like what kind of resources they offer at that community college, if it's like a good fit for you. If you're deciding between like one community college that's near you versus another that happens to be near you, like weigh your options, like look at what you're getting yourself into for the next couple of years before you go. Tip 4, which is kind of branching off of the last one, which is kind of figuring out the ins and outs of your school. Don't forget about that financial aid office. Like go there, talk to the people there, look at all of the paperwork they have to offer. If you can make an appointment with someone in the financial aid office, I highly recommend it. And I also would definitely totally tell you to fill out your FAFSA. Like that is super crucial. If you don't know what that is, I will link like that below, like in the description. I'm gonna link a bunch of stuff to help all you fellow community college students out, because I know when I first went I was like, what is all this stuff? So I'm gonna link like a bunch of useful things below. But fill out that FAFSA, try to get financial aid if you can. Yeah. So tip 5 is, if you're not sure where to start, like you're totally new to community college and you have no idea what classes you need to take, see if you can start with your general education classes. There's something, if you're trying to transfer to a UC, there's something called the IGETC, which is the equivalent of your general education. And so you would want to start with your general education just because it really allows you to get to understand the different breadth requirements, the different courses that you can take at a community college. And like say you don't know what you want to major in yet, like you're just starting out in college and you have no clue, that's totally fine. That's why the general education like system exists, just so you can kind of get your feet wet in like a bunch of different topics. So I definitely recommend, if you're not sure, start with your basics, start with your basic English, your basic math, review plates and all those things. Especially with math, well, for me personally, or if maybe you're not as great in English as you are in math. Maybe you're really super solid in math. I'm not the best at math, so I didn't place the highest possible in math, so I had to get started on that like very, very quickly because I had a lot of classes to take before I could get to the point where some classes were transferable. So what is my point with this? My point is that start with your general education if you're confused where to start. I will link like the IGETC below if you're confused what I'm talking about. Okay, so tip 6 is to talk to your professors, become friendly with your professors. I know it seems a little bit maybe strange if you're coming from high school and you maybe were never that close to your professors or teachers or anything. You can use community college, and you definitely should use community college as a time to learn how to network as much as you possibly can. It's so helpful. You're going to need it for the rest of your life, and starting with your professors is a great way to network for the rest of your life, honestly, because they can provide you research opportunities if you're interested in something like that. They know the ins and outs of the school, so you can talk to them about school stuff. If you're looking for a recommendation letter at any time, you are going to want to have built a relationship with that professor before you ask for a recommendation letter. And there's going to be times where you might need a recommendation letter, whether that's for financial aid or for applying to a school that you want to transfer to. It's just really useful to build those relationships. And you might find a teacher who shares like the similar interests that you do. Like, for example, I'm an English major, I'm also pre-med, but I found a really great English professor at my community college, and he actually helped me with my personal statements when I was applying. He helped look over them, he helped edit them, and it was all because of those relationships that I built with him when I took the class. So keep those professors like in your contacts, and you know, get to know them. They're people, they're there to help you, so utilize them. They want to help you. Okay, so tip 7 is basically when you get your syllabus or when you figure out which textbooks are required of you for the class, try not to buy them in the bookstore if you can help it, unless you absolutely have no other choice and that's the only place that they sell it. There are a lot of places that you can buy textbooks, especially college textbooks, for a lot cheaper, and it's just so much better. So for example, when I went to community college, we had a local bookstore that sold textbooks, and you could actually sell your textbooks back to them at the end of the semester, so you could get your money kind of back that you spent on it, and they're already discounted in the bookstore. Also, if you can't find them in a bookstore like that, try Amazon, try all of these different, there's so many places online that sell, there's Chegg, I think that's another one. There's just a lot of places online. Try not to, if you can help it, try not to buy it in the bookstore, because I know a lot of times those bookstores can be very, very expensive, and when you're on a college budget or any kind of budget, really, it's crucial to spend your money wisely, and that is just one tip that I can think of to help you. Okay, so tip 8 is, I don't know if this will work for everyone, it probably doesn't work for everyone, but for me, when I went to community college, it was always really helpful to plan my classes if I could help it, where I would have time in between my classes where I can spend time on campus, like in the tutoring labs before my class, or just doing work on campus. If you can plan your schedule a certain way where you have time on campus, I would recommend doing it so you can spend time in the library, spend time in the tutoring services, spend time getting just to know the campus even is rough your first couple semesters. So if you can schedule your classes a certain way like that, I would definitely do it. Okay, so tip 9 is to think long term, even when you're taking it semester by semester. I know it can be really easy to just kind of like only think within day to day, which sometimes can be really great when you're thinking day to day and you're doing your work day to day and semester to semester. It's always great, but never lose sight of that goal. Never lose sight that you are, you know, trying to transfer to a school of your dreams maybe, and each little semester, each thing that you do is part of a much larger picture, which will then become part of a much, much larger picture. Just think long term. Do not forget like why you started community college in the first place. Your grades do matter at all semesters, and it does add up and all of that stuff. So don't lose sight, don't lose focus. I will like do like a kind of maybe like a life hacks for community college or college in general, just so to talk more about how I stayed as focused as I could towards the later part of my community college career. And tip 10 is to figure out parking, figure out traveling, how you're gonna get there. Parking at community college for me was, it was busy. You had to get there, you had to plan accordingly. If your class started at a certain time, you knew you would have to leave a half an hour earlier, you'd have to leave an hour earlier depending on which time your class started, what the traffic flow is like. So think of that kind of stuff beforehand, and it will be a lot like smoother sailing. If you plan on taking the bus or something like that, make sure you know the schedules, make sure you get there with enough time to spare. Just like think about those things. If you have to buy a parking pass, think about that, and just consider these things before you get there on your first day, because you don't want to be scrambling on your first day. It's already stressful enough. You don't need to be worrying about like, am I gonna get a parking ticket like on my first day of college? That would not be ideal. So I know at my community college, I don't know if this is for everyone's community colleges, but if you didn't get a semester pass or a quarter pass to last you the entire semester, then you would have to use a daily pass. So there's like little machines like that are like all in different parking lots. Make sure you have something on your window, or you're hanging from your mirror or something, just to let them know that you are able to park there, because you don't want a parking ticket. It's not fun. I've never had one, but I've had friends and it's not fun. And just be prepared, And along that, I guess a bonus tip, tip 11, I wasn't gonna do this one, but obviously it's really important to me, so I'm gonna do it. Honestly, I always say this, and I know it sounds so silly, but have fun, relax if you can. I know it's really stressful, like I've totally been there, I totally get it. I was totally stressed too, but I did allow myself to have some fun. I mean, it's college, it's still fun, you make a lot of friends, classes are fun, there's things that are really cool, you grow so much as a person in a community college, and I really can't recommend it enough. And honestly, I'm so proud of you all for choosing to go to college, and community college is a great option. And if you need any questions answered or things like that, feel free to email me at prettyandpixie@gmail.com. You can message me on here, you can comment below. I try to answer as many as I possibly can. But yeah, you are so much smarter than you think you are. You have no idea, and I have totally full faith in your abilities, and you are gonna rock community college. I know you are. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed, feel free to click right here, and I will see you all in my next video.